I get it, you're staring at the kayak aisle, scrolling through endless options, and the idea of splurging on a 12-foot paddleboat feels risky. You've probably heard the name Wilderness Systems tossed around in forums, and the Pungo 125 keeps popping up as the go-to for bigger paddlers who want speed without sacrificing stability. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what it actually feels like on the water, who will love it, and who might be better off looking elsewhere before you click Add to Cart. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have is whether a sit-inside recreational kayak that promises best-in-class speed will actually be manageable for a casual paddler. The Pungo 125's hull design is what Wilderness calls renowned for delivering that reassuring steadiness while still slicing through water efficiently. In practice, that means you can cover a couple of miles on a calm lake with less arm fatigue than you'd expect from a typical touring kayak of similar length. I tried it on a Saturday morning on a moderate wind-choppy reservoir, and after a warm-up lap the kayak glided with almost no wobble, even when I shifted my weight to check a snag in the shoreline. That stability is a real confidence booster if you've ever felt a little nervous watching a narrower, sport-focused kayak tip over on a gust. Now, let's talk about the seat because comfort is where many kayaks either win or lose points. The Pungo comes with a Phase 3 Air Pro seat that's fully adjustable up and down, forward and back, plus a lumbar support cushion that inflates just enough to cradle your lower back. For someone who spends a couple of hours paddling a weekend trip, the ability to fine-tune that seat means you won't end the day with a sore backside. The footrests are also adjustable, which is a small detail that makes a big difference when you have longer legs. You can slide them out to accommodate a 6 feet 2 inches frame without feeling cramped. Storage is another practical area where the Pungo tries to stand out. The rear orbit hatch seals tightly, giving you a dry box that can hold a day pack, a waterproof camera, and a few extra layers of clothing. I loaded it with a 10-liter hydration bladder, a small first aid kit, and a dry bag of snacks, and there was still room for a compact fishing rod when I decided to try a quick line. The dash-mounted dry box and the 2-cup holders are handy for keeping a water bottle or a coffee mug within reach, especially if you're out for a sunrise paddle and don't want to fumble in your gear bag. So who should really consider the Pungo 125? If you're a paddler on the taller side, say 5 feet 10 inches and up, or you simply need a kayak that can comfortably fit a larger torso, the roomy cockpit and adjustable foot braces are a major plus. It also makes sense for anyone who wants to do a mix of leisurely lake cruising and modest day trip adventures where speed helps you cover ground, but you still need that confidence-boosting stability. Families that like to bring a child or a pet on a tandem ride might appreciate the extra length and the ability to stash a small cooler in the rear hatch without compromising balance. On the flip side, there are a couple of scenarios where the Pungo might not be the best match. If you're looking for a kayak you can easily cart up a steep, narrow trail to a remote mountain lake, the 12-foot 6-inch length can feel unwieldy. You'll need a vehicle with a decent roof rack and someone to help lift it onto the carrier. Also, the price point sits a bit higher than entry-level recreational models, so if you're just testing the water and don't plan on paddling frequently, the investment might feel steep compared to a more basic 10-foot option. Finally, while the hull gives speed, it's still a recreational shape, not a pure racing design, so competitive paddlers looking to shave off seconds on a race course will find the performance respectable but not groundbreaking. One practical weakness that shows up after a few outings is the bulkhead seal on the rear hatch. It does keep water out under normal conditions, but after a heavy rain or a splashdown from a wave, you'll notice a slight seepage if the seal isn't tightened properly. It's not a catastrophic leak, but it does mean you have to check the gasket after each use to keep your gear dry. Another consideration is the paddle holder on the dashboard. It's removable, which is great for customizing, but if you forget to reinstall it before hitting the water, your paddle can slip off during a sudden maneuver, forcing you to stop and retrieve it. Small details, but they're the kind of things you notice once you've lived with the kayak for a few trips. Overall, the value of the Pungo 125 really comes from how those features translate into a smoother paddling experience for a specific audience. The speed you get isn't just a number on a